I'm John Wickes. I'm the founder-director of Kedesh. Kedesh is a Hebrew word that means sanctuary. It's one of the cities of refuge in Israel that was set aside for a person who had accidentally killed another person, that they could find refuge in that particular city without the kinsman redeemer being able to attack them. So it was a place of refuge, a place of safety for somebody. And my idea is that the kids that I work with, some of who originally were street kids but now are not, are kids just that their mothers and fathers have died, can come, they have a place of refuge, they have a place to learn trades, they have a place to learn life skills, learn about life, be prepared for life. And so I try and train them in all these things and just get them ready for life, I guess. That's a good way to put it. And it's a place of refuge for them. I came to Africa in *93 in Mozambique in October. Started working just in different places, and then met up with a group that was working with street kids, and it was just at the end of the war at that point in time. And the kids were not street kids in the context of taking drugs or that kind of things, but they were street kids in the context of war orphans. Their villages had been attacked or were being burned or whatever, and they just fled. Some of them were separated from their family, didn't know where their family were. Some were kids that the family had actually been killed. And so what we did is tried to find family if there was family. And that particular project was working with kids. We were feeding probably 200 to 300 kids each day, medical support, and had a school was started from. This was started by Gail Decker and Debbie Santos. Her name was Smith then, Debbie Smith. And I met and married Gail Decker. They, like I say, they were the ones that started it, saw the need. Gail came here as a school teacher, and Debbie came as a nurse, and basically saw the need, just bought buildings for it. It grew and it grew. Then that was the place when I arrived, and I just saw that I was a builder in the States, and I saw that there needed to be there was a lot of kids that didn't get reintegrated. They didn't get moved on. They were just kind of essentially falling through the cracks. So I wanted to make a place where the kids could get away from the city. That original place was right downtown. So they were like little thieves, you know, on the streets, stealing bread, stealing oranges, just doing that kind of stuff. And they needed to be away from that atmosphere, the big gang. They were developing a little bit of gangs as well. So I wanted to bring them out, away from the city. We bought a particular piece of property, and just started to train in life skills. And part of the training is that they're actually building their own house. So in some of the photos that you'll see, there's right now we're building proper buildings of cement and blocks. For instance, this whole sign, the whole wall. The kids made the blocks. Actually, we bought the sand and cement. They make it. They learn how to weld, so they weld the things together. They'll learn how to carpentry, so they've built tables, chairs, benches, windows, doors, door frames. So literally, they learn how to do the whole thing. They also learn the wiring, electrical wiring, water plumbing, septic, all that kind of stuff. And I think I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned welding as well, gas and electrical. So the concept is to teach them everything. So everything that they're learning is hands-on experience. It's not in a classroom experience, but building their own house. We also work with what we call widows. They're older ladies who are in the same situation. They have no family to take care of them, or they are overburdened, like due to age. There's a lot of grandmas who are taking care of 7 to 10 of their grandchildren, where all the parents are now deceased. That type of situation. So the boys wouldn't just be on just the receivers. We started working with these older ladies so that the widows could actually, the boys could help them. they would receive houses. We do very much the Mozambican style of housing, which is just bamboo, stones, and then mud over it, tin roofs, plastic roof on that level, dirt floors. We buy them their blankets and supply their food, medical costs, and little ovens. And their little ovens are just charcoal ovens that they use. So the boys are as well learning to build things on that level. Not only our own houses, but they reach out and help other widow ladies as well. We found that working with these widows, that thieves began to recognize that these particular ladies always had clothes, they always had food, they always had whatever, all the particulars, and they became targets for thieving. So what we've decided to do is that we're going to put a branch of a section of this property that we have. It's 2.5 acres, and it's going to be for the widows. So we're going to have a lot of the older ladies come out and be living out here with us. The boys will be in one house, one section. The older ladies will be in another section. Here in about a month, we have a couple coming from England, Dave and Joe West, and Dave is going to be administration, do a lot of teaching and that kind of stuff, computers, more like classroom type skills, tutoring of the kids with their schooling that they do as well. And Joe is going to be working with the older ladies, developing already skills that they already have, using them for Kedesh, then teaching them hygiene and just sanitary health skills and that kind of stuff. And then since the ladies, a lot of the ladies are older, just to actually give them a life that's not like constant stress, constant borderline on the edge of starving and that kind of stuff. And maybe just that the last part of their life will be in some comfort. And Joe will be working with them on all sorts of levels there. So that's the vision of Kedesh and what we're doing. Right now we've been living on another property over here for a few years, renting, while we've been developing this other property. And so we're a little bit behind schedule, but we're developing this property. We're moving out in 2 weeks. We'll be living over here, and essentially, for starters, we'll be in the typical African housing, mud huts, and the kids are building that with helpers and myself as well. But they will be mud huts with power, electricity, running water, and the like. So that's pretty much Kedesh and where Kedesh is at and what we're doing for the time being.